Hi, this is Leonard Smith, and it's Friday night and time for another cocktail. And tonight's cocktail is something called a sidecar. Now, sidecar was invented also around the time of the World War I. And how it was invented was that there was an officer coming in to Paris, and he was riding in a sidecar on a motorcycle, and it was freezing cold. And so when he got to the Ritz bar, he went in and asked the bartender to make him something really warm, and this is what the bartender came up with. Now, what goes into a sidecar are 1.5 ounces of brandy, 3/4 of an ounce of Cointreau, and 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice strained of seeds, and you shake it up in a shaker and pour it into a chill glass that has sugar around the rim. That's optional, and it's garnished with a beautiful orange. So let's take a taste and see what a sidecar tastes like. Ooh, delicious. It's orangey, really just delicious. And I'm not a big fan of brandy, but in this case it really works, because that Cointreau just really brings out a wonderful orangey, warm. It's really warm, and it's all the way down. This evening, we're going to discuss a really beautiful fragrance by an American designer. It's Tom Ford, and the fragrance is Tom Ford for Men Extreme. Now, this is something that just, to me, epitomizes sophistication and the New York lifestyle. And I'm going to read to you from my review that I wrote on my blog, Sense Memory, my impressions of it, because I think this will really get across to you just what this fragrance feels like to me. In the milieu of Manhattan masculine moneyed elegance, Tom Ford Man Extreme soars like an elegant crystalline sliver of a skyscraper over the skyline of fragrances. This one is memorable and an instant classic. It conjures up drinks at the Oak Room on a Sunday afternoon, an early morning stroll along Central Park South, where you just happen to run into Tony Bennett, who is out for a walk. A delicious after-theater snack of blueberry blintzes at the Westway Diner on 9th Avenue, a private weekend in the Hamptons with a very special someone. A bike ride on your own along the High Line Trail through the city at sunset. Yes, Tom Ford embodies all the chic elegance of New York life in this wonderful fragrance, like a cultured gentleman. This fragrance moves effortlessly through all situations and can fit the mood of almost any time or place. Tom Ford for Men Extreme was created in 2007, and it is a woody, spicy. It has very few notes, but they're very well blended, and those notes are lemon, fig, tuberosity, and that is a scent reminiscent of the undergrowth of strawberries, wet earth, dried fruit, and a hint of cocoa. And what it is, I thought tuber, they call it tuber. I thought, well, that's a potato. But no, what they're referring to is a fungus in the family of truffles. So that's where you get that kind of earthy, chocolatey smell. And also the other notes, the remaining notes in this fragrance are patchouli and cedar. So let's spray it and see how it reacts to my skin. Beautiful bottle, beautiful, elegant. I mean, just stately, elegant, and refined. It's ribbed. It's just simple. Simple can often be the most elegant design for a bottle of perfume. Simple goes a long way in many respects for all kinds of expressions in fashion, in art, in literature. Simple, for instance, in literature, think of the simple sentences of Ernest Hemingway. It is, this is just, to me, purely wonderful. It's masculine, it's rather linear, it doesn't go too off the rails in any direction, it's not too strong, it lasts about 9 hours on my skin. The projection bubble is not huge, but you don't always want to have a huge projection bubble. You sometimes just want to draw people in, and this is something that will draw people in. It's sophisticated, elegant, chic, simple. Simple sometimes is the best thing. And so there you have it, my review for Tom Ford Extreme. And remember, like I always say, wear what you love and not what they say you should like. Now, the first time I ever heard Sidecar ever mentioned was when I was about 8 years old, and I saw a movie called Anti-Main. And in it, it's about a woman, single woman, who is raising her orphan nephew, and she's teaching him all about life and sophistication and culture, and it's a comedy. And at one point, he wakes her up early in the morning, and she tells him to go downstairs and tell Ito to bring me a cup of coffee in a sidecar. Auntie needs fuel. So that's the first time I ever heard of a sidecar. Cheers.